What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I am bringing you Chiron's Elemental Hero Yubel profile. Now, just so there is no misunderstanding of exactly what this is, it still maintains the competitive nature of the Elemental Heroes, but what it does is it utilizes Yubel in order to get to cards like Neos Kluger, and when you involve the side deck, it can also utilize Neos Wiseman, as well as the ability to Secret Village of the Spellcaster lock your opponent down, which means it feels even better activating something like darkworld no more in order to help you push through an entire board. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. I'll show you the combo at the end of the video of how you utilize Yubel within the deck in order to get a card like Kluger, which can help you push for an OTK as well as providing you with that Secret Village lockdown. Massive shout out to Chiron, this is his exact list. He's obviously got access to Yubel and Wiseman, and I thought it was a really kind of cool, different take on the deck that I thought would be really cool to show all of you. So we're going to start off with, of course, the Vision Heroes. It's all going to be pretty standard on the way that you play this, because this is the best line of combo for the entire deck. If you do want to see an evil hero version of Yubel, then if you get the video above 50 likes in the first 24 hours, I'll be more than happy to bring that for you as well. So pretty standard of your 3 Faris, 2 Vion and 2 Increase. As much as everyone that plays a hero deck wants to play this card at 1, unfortunately you can't. For the Destiny Heroes, obviously we've got 2 Mali with the 1 Denier and of course the 1 Plasma. Now this is where it again is a little bit interchangeable, is you can also go with Dark Angel, but you can't guarantee that you're going to go first. Giving your opponent Dark Angel is incredibly powerful because it does mean you won't then from that point on get imperms, evenly matched. It means they can't early doors imperm something like your Dark Lore if you put that on them, and you have ways of making sure that the Dark Angel can't crash your monster. On top of that as well, Plasma has a better balance for going first and second just because it can negate a board that's already been set up, but it can also preset and negating the board of anything that might be built. For the Elemental Heroes, he's got 2 Stratos. He just says that he personally prefers Stratos at 2, which I can kind of understand because now we've got a hero who lives at 3. He's also playing 1 Equal as well. So arguably you're going to be running into Droll no matter which way you do it. So you probably could be looking at the Equal becoming the 3rd Stratos, but you also want Equal to give you access to something like one of your Shadow Mists or your Elemental Hero Liquid Soldier as well. So it kind of has more utility for that one. Then, of course, we do play the 1 Yubel and the 1 Neos. Now, you actually search both of these cards out by revealing your Elemental Hero Neos Kluger off of the back of basically your fusion plays. In doing so, you add these 2. So you add it off of the back of your Infernal Devicer. So in other builds, you'd only add the Elemental Hero Neos. But by adding Yubel, you have access to get into the Kluger off of the back of your favorite contact. And that will then give you the ability to not only make Kluger so that it can't be spun back, but it means that if you don't need to go as heavy on the whole board clear capabilities of the Wingman, it also gives you the ability of your Neos Shining Wing. It also gives you the ability to do burn damage and push everything further forward. It does become a little bit better when you start using Neos Wiseman, because if Kluger leaves the field via your opponent's card effect, you get to special summon out the Wiseman, and that's where the Secret Village lock comes into play, because even if they get rid of the Kluger, you just swing straight into a Wiseman and they're still under the lock, which is really kind of cool. So there's a couple of different options you can do on that one, and the best way to get into a Secret Village is going into a battle phase and going through favourite hero. But again, that requires you to use a battle phase, which is why usually when you're going into the battle phase with heroes, you should be pushing for the OTK win. But if you're not able to push for the OTK win because you've used something like Dark Ruler, being able to Secret Village lock your opponent down can be just as devastating. Moving on to the spells, obviously triple a hero lives. You see this going first. Yes, it does cost you half your life points, so you need to be very careful during the game 3. But for now, it's just such a good card. Gives you access to Stratos without even needing to use your normal summon. If you've already got your Stratos, of course, you can go directly into a Shadow Mist, and Shadow Mist will, of course, lead you into the ability of getting into a Mass Change. He's then got triple Forbidden Droplet. I feel that this is one of the better ones for this deck, just because Droplet is such a powerful card to be able to negate a board being set, or being able to negate a board as you're going second. And then when you're halving your opponent's attack stats, your hero monsters have a better chance of completing an OTK. The one thing that I probably would change when looking through his extra deck is when you're playing something like Droplet, you kind of want the idea of playing Trinity as well, just because Trinity will lead you, especially off the back of Droplet, with the ability to clear the board and do maximum damage. He's then got 2 Fusion Destiny, and I asked him about this, and he said the reason for 2 Fusion Destiny is the pure fact that you don't need to rely on it as much. It's more of a fail-safe crackback than it is an actual route of play, because throughout the combo you will make your DPE naturally anyway for a poly, and going through that route. So you don't need to rely on Fusion Destiny. It's just one of them ones that if they stop all of your plays building up, you can then save the Fusion Destiny for the end of the turn. Personally, I feel that 3 might be cool, but it's also the same argument with Mask Change, which is again why he's got 2 and 2. He did say that Mask Change can very easily go up to 3 because it's not the end of the world if you do open it. But what he's trying to do is he's trying to search out the Mask Change. He doesn't want to always rely on the Fusion Destiny, so it's trying to get the balance correct, which is why there's a couple of different flex spots. And when you're utilizing something like Yubel in this deck, you've got to be very careful because you're adding in another brick that you ideally want to be searching, but you don't want to be hard drawing. Then for the searches, of course, we've got 1 equal and the 1 rotor. Already pretty much talked to the equal. 1 Miracle Fusion, followed up by the 1 poly, and then of course the 1 favorite contact. Now, a lot of people actually forget the effects that the favorite contact provide. So you special summon a fusion monster from your extra deck that mentions a hero monster as material, ignoring its summoning conditions by placing the fusion materials mentioned on it to the bottom of the deck in any order from among cards in your hand, field, graveyard, and or your banished cards. If you placed Elemental Hero Neos into the deck, neither player can return the monster specialed by this effect to the extra deck. Now, a lot of people actually forget this, and there's so many times when they try to unicorn back the Kluger or unicorn back the Shining Neos, and you're like, yeah, okay, cool, it's made with fusion, a favorite contact, it doesn't happen. Like, you can't do that. So it's very, very hard to kind of get rid of either of these you put on the board. Obviously, one is a bit more defensive, one is a bit more aggressive, which is why I quite like the option of playing both of these in this particular build. Then for the hand traps, he's gone with triple Ash Blossom, triple Nibiru, and triple Imperm. You can see that, of course, this is a 42 card deck, so there is flexibility depending on if you want to cut some of these down to 2s. But you've got to see that the balance of going first and going second, which is why you can utilize something like Imperm for first and second, Nibiru mainly for going second, but also the ability to crack back as well. And I feel that what main deck in Nibiru gives you is it gives you that ability that a lot of people are expecting Nibiru to be in the side, if at all being played. So very few people will naturally play around Nibiru game 1. Now, I'm not saying everyone will just run straight first into a Nibiru, but very few people are actually playing around it, so that when it gets dropped to them on game 1, it's kind of like a shock, and then that Nibiru can ultimately lead you to game. We've seen that at plenty of the recent YCSs, that not a lot of people are expecting a main deck nib. It might become something that's a little bit more common as we go further forward into the format, but for now, it's a very good option to be maining. So that's it for the entire main deck. Like I said, 42 card deck. Moving on to the extra deck. So we'll start off with your favourite contact targets of the Neos Wingman and the Neos Kluger. Now, like I said, Kluger becomes a little bit better when you go into your side deck, which is arguably where I would suggest probably playing Trinity, because then you can play Trinity as a very good go second option, but for now, Kluger is that option. And then it means when you move into the side deck, you get more utility with the ability to summon out the Wise Man. Shining Neos has the ability to pretty much nuke the board, which is why it's a better defensive option. But then when you're introducing something like Secret Village, because this is a spellcaster, that just gives you a better defensive option if you want to go for that particular type of lock. Then, of course, 2 Master Hero Dark Lords, nice and new in Quarter Century, followed up by the 1 Elemental Hero Flame Wingman Infernal Rage, 1 Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, Wake Up Your Hero, Sunriser, Dystopia for that burn option during time, Hero Blast to try and dodge targeted effects on your Stratos, Absolute Zero. I mean, as much as I would love to play Acid in the deck, it's so tight anyway as it is, but there is a really kind of cool combo with the Absolute, that there's ways that you can actually tribute off your own Absolute using your own monster effects, and then trigger off its board wipe during your opponent's turn, which is why you then have a fallback. If you do decide to go for Kluger, you can actually go for a board wipe and Absolute Zero as well as, so it kind of gives you the best option for both. And then, of course, for the Link monsters, you've got your Infernal Devicer, your Wonder Driver, 1 Cross Crusader, and then, of course, the 1 Decimator. So all pretty standard on this one. You'll see throughout the combo how important Infernal Devicer is for the deck, and then how good Wonder Driver it is as you're able to loop your Polymerization in a single turn, meaning you can resolve Poly twice. So that's it for the main deck and the extra deck. I'll just quickly show you his side deck. There are a couple of changes that I would personally make. So for the side deck, of course, you've got the Neos Wise Man into Favourite Hero, and his field spell of choice at the moment is Skyscraper 2. This one, you can special summon an elemental hero monster during your main phase from the graveyard that was destroyed by battle. So you can only, this card's controller can use this effect. Now this is where you'd probably put Secret Village, and you're either going to go for going into the battle phase, using favourite hero to get to your field spell, which is also really kind of cool. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with favourite hero, equipped only to a level 5 or higher hero monster. If you control a card in your field zone, the equipped monster gains attack equals to its original defense. Also, your opponent cannot target it with card effects. You can only use this effect, favourite hero, once per turn. When the equipped monster attacks and destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can send this card to the graveyard. The attacking monster can make a second attack in a row, which is really kind of cool. However, at the start of the battle phase, you can activate one field spell directly from your hand or deck. The reason that is so important is during the battle phase, you can activate something like Necro Valley if the deck is a floating deck that utilizes the graveyard. You can use stuff like Zombie World, you can use stuff like the Secret Village. You have loads of different options that this can get you to, and his option of choice is the Skyscraper, a very hero themed, but again, you can adapt it as you see fit. Then of course, double Thrust with 1 Talents, double Lightning Storm, 2 Dark Ruler No Mores, 2 D Barriers, 2 Evenlies, and then a Dark Angel. So you can kind of see with the splits that if you wanted to play a little bit more reserved, because you're playing Thrust, is you could technically cut all of these down to 1s, especially when you're already playing Droplet, and then you've got 4 more flex spaces that can be adapted to more specific side deck cards. So there you go, there's a Necro Valley, there's a Secret Village, and then it's entirely up to you on the remaining 2 cards. Really is up to you on your playstyle, and then of course you've got your Dark Angel of the play of if you give them a Dark Angel and they cannot play, you're going to go GG. This is a very cool direct win con option. Of course, if you are feeling lucky that day and you feel, oh, you know what, I think I'm going to win every single one of my dice rolls, well, fair play to you, but then you can obviously arguably look at putting Dark Angel into the main deck, and then you've just got an out and out for game 1, and you can even go down the Kluger lock as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset the board state, and I'm going to show you the combo that leads you into Kluger and how you can utilize the ability of Kluger and Yubel. So here is the 2 card combo. Now this can be a range of different options. You've got Hero Lives, you've got Equal, you've got Rota. You can also open up any alternatives with stuff like Faris, Mali, Denier, you name it. You're going to be able to go through pretty much all of the steps with a good selection of what you can open. So we're going to use these 2 here. We're going to start off by normal summoning the Stratos. Use this effect to search you out Faris, or of course Shadow Mist in this example if you wanted to. Use Faris' effect to summon itself by discarding the Shadow Mist. Go chaining 1 Shadow Mist, chaining 2 Faris. So your Faris will then put Increase into the Spell and Trap Zone. Shadow Mist will add you your Liquid Soldier. You can then use Increase's effect to tribute off the Faris to summon itself out, and the Vision Hero Vion. Vion's effect will then Foolish Bury the Mali. And then, like I said, if you opened up the Mali instead, then you would Foolish Burial the Shadow Mist. The same exact outcome. Use Vion's effect to banish the Faris to add you your Pulverization. And then what you want to do is you want to link both your Vision Heroes together and go into the Infernal Devicer. You're then going to be able to use Device's effect to reveal your Kluger from the extra deck to allow you to add Yubel and, of course, Neos, which is very, very cool. At this point here, what you want to do is you want to link your Stratos with your Infernal Devicer, and this is going to go into your Wonder Driver. You're then going to be able to use the ability of Poly to fuse Liquid Soldier and Neos to go into your Infernal Flame, Infernal Rage. You're going to use the effect of Wonder Driver, Infernal Rage, and the ability of Liquid Soldier. So you're going to reset the Poly. You're going to want to make sure you search the trap card of Favorite Contact first, and then you want to resolve the Liquid Soldier to draw 2 new cards, and then discard a card. So just to make sure you keep all of your fresh cards, you're going to discard the Yubel. This is going to give you the ability to push a little bit further on later on down the line, and the 2 new cards can be any more hand traps, extenders, you name it. Then use the ability of the Infernal Flame to tribute itself off to summon out Sunrise. Sunrise effect will allow you to add the Miracle Fusion as well. So again, you're in a very good position of everywhere you need to go, and now you want to start using your Mali in the grave. So you're going to use Mali's effect to banish it from the graveyard to summon Mali itself. In doing so, what you want to do from here is you want to link your Wonder Driver and of course the Mali together into Cross Crusader, because you use 2 warriors. You can now use Cross Crusader's effect to bring back the Mali and then tribute off the Mali to add you a Denier. Now the reason you're going to add the Denier is because you do still have that Poly that you can still activate. So you're going to activate that Poly, fusing Denier plus the Sunrise, and you're going to be able to fuse and summon out your DPE. Keep in mind you still have Miracle Fusion, so if you wanted to, you can very easily Miracle Fuse into Absolute Zero, or of course you can Miracle Fuse into a Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, and what that will give you is the ability to activate your DPE to destroy the Elemental Hero, and then Special Summon during your opponent's turn. Now, obviously, if you haven't used Shadow Mist throughout this entire play to search out Liquid to give you those draws, and you actually got Liquid in a different way, then of course you could destroy the Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, summon out Shadow Mist, search out your Mask Change, and then you also add a Darkworld to this end board as well. The idea is that you've drawn 2 fresh new cards. You still have Miracle Fusion, so it's entirely up to you on where you want to go. I would personally hold the Miracle Fusion back, just so I've got a bit more board presence. You also need to remember you still have the ability of your Denier to bring itself back to the board and put a Mali back to the top of the deck, meaning you can use the Mali's effect in Grave to banish it and then summon itself to the board. So you're basically walling up at this point, and then in doing so, what that then will also give you the ability for is it can also mean you can link climb higher should you want to. Now, the reason you'd probably want to link climb higher is you can link climb into your Decimator, but again, the only reason you're doing this is so the monsters you add to the board during your opponent's turn or from this point on will be that little bit stronger. You can very easily keep Denier in the graveyard and Mali in the graveyard, so you've got follow-ups for the next turn should your opponent break it. Keeping in mind that with the current hand that you have, you still also have 3 more cards good to rock and roll. So these can be additional hand traps or anything else you might need. So what I'm saying here is if you hold back resource, it does give you that ability to crack back during the next turn should you need to and complete an OTK. The best case scenario is even if they Nibiru you, you've got the ability of DPE to pop and send itself to the grave and then bring itself back during your opponent's standby phase. So you're still in a very good position. In doing so, you're now going to set the favourite contact. Like I said, I'm just holding back resource, but you could very easily push further forward if you want to. Now, obviously, if I'm going second, Miracle Fusion, Wake Up Your Hero can ultimately lead you to game, which is really important as well. So when we're ending on this turn here with this hand, you've got the resources left in the graveyard, so we're just going to leave the Denier in there for now. During your opponent's turn, what you have the ability for is off of the back of the favourite contact, you can go into one of 2 cards. You can go into the Elemental Hero Shining Neos, or you can also go into your Kluger, which does give you another decent option to crack back during your opponent's turn by putting Yubel and by putting the Neos back into the deck. So putting those back into the deck gives you the ability to go into Kluger, or of course you can put back Elemental Hero Neos and of course your Elemental Hero Sunrise to go into your Elemental Hero Shining Neos. Sorry, Neos and Infernal Flame Wingman, not Sunrise. But that's the idea here, is that you've been able to either break a board. If you want to go specifically down the Kluger route, you've got the ability of Kluger, which will give you burn damage during the next turn as well. And as I explained, if you did play into Secret Village, your end board could also be add a Secret Village 2 here, as well as the option for Darklaw. If any of these are Mask Change, you've got the options there as well, and that's probably where you would end up using Mali or Denier. And you've just got so much more crackback and resource that even if your opponent does blow this board out and cracks it back, a single Miracle Fusion of going straight into a Wake Up Your Hero can help you ultimately lead you to game. So you've got so many different options to crack back on this, and that's not including the ability of using DPE to bring back any Destiny hero. Like, yeah, okay, worst case scenario, they can Bestial, get rid of this, then you still have the ability to bring back some form of resource to the board, and then you're just going to banish all of it anyway to give you a fat stacked Wake Up, plus the 5 cards you still have, and the ability of favourite contact to either give you an aggressive Kluger or a board wipe and then aggressive Neos Wingman as well. Not to mention everything's going to be boosted off the back of Dread Decimator, so you've got a very, very powerful board. Anyway, that is it for the profile and the combo. I hope this has given you a couple of ideas of your own build. I do like the inclusion of Yubel. I do like the option of adding in Kluger. I feel that at this exact moment in time, it's probably more so the ability of an alternative to Trinity, where Trinity might be a better option, but it gives you a bit of an insight going forward for the future of this deck, especially when we're looking at the new Yubel support coming in like January, February time. It means that a deck like this can be even more applicable and even more effective going forward. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe and of course, happy dueling.